Guys, how you doing? I know normally I'm bringing you RC videos, but I thought this was a pretty interesting project here. A friend of mine he's always horse trading, and he horse traded for this 3D printer right here. I believe this one is GEEETECH I3. This is a Prusa I3. Okay? Now we hooked this up and we've spent about 6 hours on it, and we've got nowhere with this thing. I mean, the computer software that's installed on the computer, it communicates with the computer board that's on here. This one right here. See? We know it does because we can actually heat the extruder head, this guy right there, from the computer, and heat the bed right from the computer. And we can give it commands, and it'll do certain things. Like, it was going through the motions of printing, but the head assembly right here never came down to the bed right here. Bed's level. There's quite a few things that we've discovered during the assembly of this 3D printer that were not done. And we're going to talk about those things. We're going to try to see if the wiring on this board is accurate. Now, this is a do-it-yourself printer. I mean, you buy it, and you have to assemble this thing yourself. But we didn't assemble this, myself and my friend. So far, I mean, the panel lights up, you know, communicates, it reads the driver that you installed on your computer, and the computer recognizes that this is a 3D printer, a Prusa I3 Pro B, as it says right there, GEEETECH I3. And like I said, it accepts commands when you give it to it. Give the commands to the printer from the computer, or to the printer from the computer. Fans are all working. The extruder head heats up. The bed heats up. The motors all work. We've tested all the motors. They're all fine. The only thing that we have a concern is there were a box of parts left. And this is a little disturbing. And right away, let me show you something. Before we scored this box of parts, you have this guy right there. This was just a screw in this plate right here. Okay? This here comes down and hits this reed switch, if you will. And you see, and you can adjust it. It's adjustable, kind of like a slipper clutch spring. Well, we didn't know that. So I watched the build video from the manufacturer itself, and I saw the assembler put the spring in here, which we didn't have. And so I grabbed the slipper clutch spring, and there it is. And well, anyway, when we got the box of parts, look what I found. The actual springs that should go in there. That's amazing. Also, these big iron collets here, you see these guys? I take this big 4mm grub screw. Well, these rods were falling out, okay? These rods right here, both of these, they were just sliding out. Okay, so let's walk around the front here. You see the rods, they go inside this acrylic plate here, and then they're stopped by this front acrylic plate. This is a double sandwich acrylic plate. Alright, well, in the back, there is no stop. You see? They're there, they're exposed. They were actually sliding out and dropping from the front right there. Why? Well, I watched the assembly video, and these collars were not here. See these collars that I put on here? Because they were in a bag. Now, you have to ask yourself, why do you still have 4 of those left? Well, I watched the assembly video again further on, and you see, there's a stop. These rods stop right here into the acrylic. Can't go through. Well, they should be right here too. You should have these collars stop because this rod will slide right up, impairing your x-axis at any given point going up when it's doing the z-axis. So it's a little disturbing that somebody rushed through this assembly. And I'm willing to bet the wiring is wrong, because judging by what I see, it doesn't look like there's ever been anything printed out of this thing. So it'll be exciting, because ideally we would like to start printing scale RC parts, because if you buy 3D printed scale RC parts, they're very expensive, and in a perfect world we'd be able to print our own. So yeah, I mean, this is a little unorthodox for me to bring you a 3D printer video, but it's more along the lines of a repair video, and this actually is going to you know, add fuel to my RC hobby. Let's be honest. I mean, who wouldn't want to use a 3D printer? So yeah, I'll keep you updated. Alright guys, we're going to go through this thing, because again, I don't know the history of the assembly, and I see way too many red flags already. So I noticed when it was printing, like I said before, the extruder head would not come down and meet the platter, but it looked like it was going through all the motion. All the motors were working, you know, but it wasn't feeding the filament, and the extruder head was hot. So I'm gonna take this assembly down right here. I'm gonna pull this fan off, and I'm gonna see there's where your filament will go right here, okay? And I noticed you push it down to feed the filament in right there. See that? But I noticed when we try to put the filament in, it's like it's stubborn. It doesn't want to go, and then you got to finagle it in. So I just wonder if it's been assembled right. There's a gear in there that actually, you know, like a worm gear that actually will feed down the filament as it's going, you know. But if it's installed wrong, it's not going to feed. So let's check that out. Okay guys, I got the heat sink and the fan off. You see the fan hanging? And there is our feed, okay? Let's go get a piece of filament and see what we're dealing with here, because it's actually supposed to go all the way down. You see this here? You see this guy right here? Here, let me see if I can get this. Goes through here, all the way down through here. That's your extruder, and it feeds into the extruder, which is right there. See that? So let's get a piece of filament and check my theory. Hopefully everything is good, you know? So yeah, let's have a look. Okay, I got a piece of filament right here. First off, let's test this, okay? It almost feels like, let's see how deep that's gone. Put my fingers right here, okay? That doesn't seem like that's deep enough, does it? It's kind of stubborn in there. Mark it with your fingers right here. Pull it out. And yeah, no, it doesn't seem like it's reaching. So what gives there? Well, now I can shove it down in there. I gained a lot. How far can I shove it, I wonder? Yeah, but I don't think I should have a fight with it like that. You know? That's interesting. Alright, well, let's try this. Alright, so you're supposed to be able to push this down like so. Feed this guy in here. Like that. That'll give me a good idea. See, yeah, that has to go way down in there. I want to try to get you guys to have an eye on this. So let me see if I can set the camera right here. Okay. Yeah, I think you can see that. Yeah, so let's see here. Squeeze down on that. It's supposed to be able to, yeah, it's not, it's binding right there. Okay, so now that's as far as it's been going. And you can see it's not even going deep enough to get into the extruder head. So we got to figure that out. It's like it's getting hooked up on something. Question is what? Alright. So there's that. Oh, now it's falling through. I don't know how deep. Let's see. Nah, still hasn't fallen through. I think it needs to be at least that deep. See that? Yep, at least that deep. The question is, why isn't it doing it? Alright, well, let me fiddle with this and I'll be back. Alright, before I put this heat sink and fan back on, I got this motor loose. I want to see what's going on inside there. So, let's see what we can do here. Prepare. See right there, that I have to ask is these motors here. This is interesting. It's never gone down to greet the bed before. It looks like it's going all the way down. Yeah, I promise you guys it's never done that before. Just so you know. Let's see what it's doing now, because let's see the head right there. I'll probably be a 3D printer expert when I'm all done here. But right now, nothing going on there. But I don't know why it would, right? This is only going to move to feed the filament, so that motor would have to be attempting to print something for it to engage. Oh, changing noises. The fan running. It says that it's ready, you know. says PI3 Pro B ready. Alright, well, let's see what happens when we start hitting buttons here, right? Motion. Again, I have no manual on this. So, you know, this is really truly like reading ancient Hebrew to me. Or hieroglyphs. Okay, I could set it from there, but I don't want to do that yet. Not without that heat sink on there. You know what I'm saying? Alright. Set home offsets. It just took me back to the main screen. But it's not reporting any problems whatsoever. You know, I am aware that there's an SD slot here, so you can actually have an STL file on the SD card and just print without a computer. Maybe I should do that. It's a lot easier to work on here in my workroom than it is over by the computer. If I can get it to print off the SD card, I think once you're at that point, we're kind of golden, you know? So yeah. Alright, stay tuned, folks. Alright. I got an STL 3D file on this SD card right here, okay? I'm going to attempt to print from an SD card. So, it's a part of a motorcycle, a little 3D printed motorcycle. Body top, export right there. So, you see here, the extruder's heating up. This is the extruder. This is the bed, you know, so that's going to reach, you know, 95 degrees. This is at 110. Something's going on down here now. Again, I just got a little piece of filament in there, so I just want to see if this thing is actually going to function at all. Let's get down here and see what's going on. I see the bed moving around. I'm not exactly sure what that's doing. Again, I'm no expert. Just so you know, I was looking, and this switch here, this guy right here, and there's a black lead switch, forgive me, which is, it's up high, oh right here. This guy and this guy were actually reversed in this board here. So see where the blue one is at? The black one was there. And that I discovered, I did switch those around. I believe they are correct now, judging by the manual I found online. So there we are, getting warm. The bed is at 57 degrees. See, right now it's saying it's printing, alright? And we all know that that's a bunch of malarkey, because there's nothing happening. And I think I see another reason why. These are supposed to float a little, and they're completely compressed. You see that? That's amazing. You squash those springs all the way down like that. Because it looks to me like there is far too much of a gap between the extruder and the bed. But according to this, it's printing, and we all see nothing happening. So yeah. Alright, well, let me cancel this print and then we will try again. But as you can see, it's going through the motions like it's printing. So do we have a problem in this head here, or do we have a problem in it not touching the board? I mean, does it have the sense? I don't know. But this is more than it was doing, because at least now the Z-axis is down towards the bed, which it was like hovering up here. I think we're getting closer. Stay tuned, folks. Well, It seems like it's actually printing now. I had to level the bed. Remember I talked about these springs here? They were completely compressed. Well, that extruder head was way too far away from the bed to even begin to start laying down a filament. But as you can see here, I mean, this might take a while, holy crap, but it is printing. Let's see if I can get an angle here where you can see. I'm not exactly sure what part of the motorcycle body that I am printing, but I think it's like a grand total of 23 parts. But again, I don't really know if that's completely leveled bed. Yeah, stay tuned. I'll give you an update. Judging by what I'm looking at here, there could be hours before that part is done. So, yeah, we'll see. Alright, well, let's say have a quick update and see what it's doing here. You can see it's laying down some filament now. Again, it's only going to work at its own pace. And you got a heat issue too, so I mean, it can't work any faster than the heat will allow it to. You know what I'm saying? But it is laying down some filament now. And that filament, I thought that was going to be like not enough filament, it's just a piece of sample. It looks like to me that that will go a long way. But I can also pause the printing and just load a roll of filament in there, you know. So it's not like it's a big deal. I'll keep an eye on that filament. When it comes time, I'll put the roll on there. But yeah, I'll keep you updated. Stay tuned. Alright guys, multiple attempts have failed at printing anything. I guess that might be not knowing what I'm doing. So right now I am attempting, third attempt I should say, no, I'm sorry, the fourth attempt to try and print the motor for the to me a sand scorcher beetle. You know, it mounts in the back. And this actually is the best it's been yet. And again, estimated time to finish this thing is about 8 hours. So I'm just going to let it run and go to bed. However, that being said, just from what I'm looking at right now, the first 8 minutes of this is actually working out really well. And I'll tell you what I think. I was printing over here. And I tried printing one over there, and I just didn't know what I was doing. Finally, I got it to where it was printing dead center of the board where most of the heat is at on the bed itself. And yeah, I think this is the best it's done so far, and it's really building it up nicely. So yeah, and I'm gonna turn in and just let this run, and tomorrow we will see if this is actually a rear mount sand scorcher motor. So yeah. Thank God this thing is quiet. Well, Another unsuccessful attempt at printing something in 3D. I set this thing last night, as you saw the video, it was working. And I thought, okay, well, when I get up, I'll have a look and see how well it did. Well, let's have a look at what exactly it did. So let's see here. When I left this thing printing, it was going along fine, okay? And I don't know what happened. Somewhere it went off the rails, because you see plastic back here, filament thrown back here. Have a look at that. Some more filament here. Big melted filament here. It was supposed to be part of the base of whatever I was printing, which was that mock-up motor for the Tamiya sand scorcher. And as you can see, it started to print. You see these guys here? And I don't know exactly what happened. So, you know, a fail. Again, the manual that's online from this company, GEEETECH, is very hard to navigate from the Chinese to English translation. So I'll have to try again. But if anybody has any tips about what I should be doing with this thing, I thought I had the bed leveled and you know, my endpoints adjusted properly. Everything seemed to be working fine. But again, I don't know exactly what's going on. I've never ran a 3D printer before or a CNC machine. And from what I'm told, these are not unlike CNC machines. But yeah, I mean, software from my computer is talking to this printer, and you know, so I mean, that was one of the hurdles. I don't know. Any tips, folks? Please, you know, leave a comment. You know, I'd like to start printing some RC parts as soon as possible. Anyway, I'll keep tinkering. I'll keep you updated. Thanks.